Alright, what up people of the inner world? What we're going to be doing today is pretty much setting up a session and how the signal flow should go for that. So what we're going to do is create a session. So how we do that is let's choose Pro Tools. What we're going to do is next go to File, Create New Session. Wow. And how I like to start it off, especially if I'm editing, is 24-bit 44.1. Gives you all your bit depth you pretty much need for any music you'll be editing. Create a blank session, make sure it's interleaved, whether or not you want to bounce a left or right file or have a bounce stereo file, that's up to you. I like my I/O settings to be last used, though you can do stereo mix or whatever you have made for wherever you're working currently. So as of right now, I'm working on my own rig, so I'll use the last used setting. Let's name this, what do we call it? Session startup how to. Notice I put underscores in there. That's just a good habit to get in. Whenever using any form of metadata to send anybody, or whenever you're coding it into anything, spaces aren't really allowed, so underscores help to replace spaces. Just a good way to keep it going. All right, so let's save it as that. I may lose you for a minute here, so bear with me while I get back into the swing of this. Don't save. Goodbye, guys. Okay, hey, what's up? I'm back again. Hi. Okay, so that happened. Let's get rid of this for the time being. So now I'm going to show you how to basically set up a session. How I would start is by going to your playback engine in Setup and making sure you get a window like this. So what you'll do is make sure you're using the right interface, make sure Pro Tools is running through the correct system to get to your monitors or your headphones or whatever you're using. So go in here, you'll get this little drop down menu. I'm using the MBox Pro 3, so I'll be using this. Whether or not you're using anything else, that's cool, but for this video I'm using an MBox. Buffer size 512, that's totally cool. Host processors, you'll notice that I'm using 3. One thing that I've noticed and read up upon and people don't realize is that, yeah, you may have a quad core, yeah, that's cool. That's actually awesome, whatever, cool. But when using Pro Tools, you really should be using one less than you have, because the operating system of your computer needs one processor to run it efficiently and properly. So instead of having Pro Tools fighting back and forth between the processors, it's cool just to, allow it to have 3 processors, let the computer have one, everybody's happy in some way. CPU usage is at 90, so that's cool, whatever. And yeah, so as long as you're happy with that, we're good. Moving on. Next I like to do is go back to Setup, go to I/O, and you'll get a window like this. I am in buses. We're going to check output first. Output looks good, but what we're going to do is just kind of clean slate everything, and how I like to do that is Command A, delete. You'll get a window like this. It's going to say 1 and 2, which is my basic stereo output through my monitors. Just say yes. Cool. And my voice hasn't gone away yet because it's still operating. Until you've hit OK down here, it will change things. So what I like to do is go to default. You can go to import settings if you're using something else, but as of right now, I have it set up to use default with my MBox because that's all I'm using right now. Input is totally cool. Output's good. Let's double check our bus. Bus looks good. Totally is all right. So let's just clean slate it. Command A, delete. Default all buses. Make sure your default output to your set monitors. And you're going to lose me when I press OK here, but it's going to reset in just a moment, so bear with me for a second. Hey guys, what's bad? Alright, we're back. So now what I'm going to show you is how to make something pretty basic to start out with, whether or not you're going to be getting into a recording session, editing session. It's just something easy to get through. And what I call that is an 8x4 mixer. And it's pretty much used in the live sense of things. Pretty basic in terms of use, because it's just 8 audio channels going down to a 4 bus system that all buses are stereo. So let's make that. So what you want to do is press Command Shift N to make a new track, and you'll get a little window like this that pops up. And what you want to do is make 8 mono audio tracks. You can do 8 mono audio tracks, or you can do 4 mono and 4 stereo. It's up to you. It's just how you want to start. For the sake of this video, I'm going to do this. Press Command N again, make this. So then you're going to do 4 stereo auxiliary inputs. Now you have to have a master out, so Command Shift N again, and you're going to make a stereo master fader. Once you have all these good looking things, bam, there we go. Switch over to your mix window. You have an 8x4 mixer. Cool little thing. So yep, we have all of these. So let's control these a little bit. I like to separate my auxiliaries and my audio by the master. Just it gives it kind of a I don't know, a matrixy feel in a way. But cool. So let's name these appropriately. So we have 4 auxiliaries for what I would be using them to automatically set up as, and that'd be, first 2 would be time-based effects with like reverbs, delays, stuff of that nature. So we'll call this time 1. Okay, and then press Command Right to switch to the next thing you would like to rename. And notice that down here it changed. For here would be doing time 2. And then for the last 2 auxiliaries, we're going to be doing a compression and a modulation effect. You can name these for whatever you're using them for. It's whatever you'll be making more of these. It's just, this is how I like to start off and have as a beginning of my session. Okay, so Command Right, and this is going to be a parallel compression channel. So P/C, parallel compression, Command Right again, switch to auxiliary 4, and this is going to be modulation effects like flangers, phasers, things of that nature. So this is going to be mod 1. And look, they all look good down here. So let's set our inputs. Time base 1 is going to have bus 1 and 2. Time base 2 is going to have bus 3 and 4. Parallel compression is going to have 5 and 6. Mod 1 is going to have 7 and 8. So notice that you have 8 audio channels, and then you also have 8 buses to go through. So though that these are stereo, you can send to individual left right. So odd numbers are left, even numbers are right, just so you know that. So now let's rename these so that when we actually start sending them to other things, they are labeled correctly. So right click on the bus, press rename, you'll get this little window, and let's name this time base 1. So time 1. Enter. Cool. See how it changed up there? Rename. It's going to be time 2. And P and C channel. I cannot speak tonight. P/C, capital C. And then last one, rename. This guy, name him mod 1. Bam. Okay. So now when you see if you want to send it to all these different audio channels, what you do is click on that one, hold shift, click all the way down to 1. You highlight all of them. Now what I like to do is right click on the letter here, this tiny little letter, and you'll get this little drop down window, and go to assignments. And just to, like, when you buy a standard mixer, sometimes they'll have like hard bus sends that you can go through, like 1 through 8 and blah blah blah, like that. So I'm going to set up something kind of similar to that. So since I have all of these selected, I'm going to hit Shift Option, go up to the send one, go to bus, we're going to do time 1. And notice how they went to all of them. That's awesome. Now we're going to do the same for here, time 2. We're going to do bus 3, which is P and C. And we're going to do mod 1. Cool. So now we're sending to everything. That's awesome. Cool. There are other tiny little things that you can get into. First of all, let's make sure that all of your inputs are set correctly for what you're using, which that's totally okay. And then make sure your cleanup is good. You got all that, and then you can get into color coding. Quick way to get into color coding is you find this little color strip at the bottom here, double click on it, you'll get the little color palette. And let's color my audio. Let's do green. That's cool. And master fader, we'll do none. Make it black. And then all my buses, let's make them purple school. Click this if you want to make them colored. Cool. Saturation for how much you want to go through that. Like right about there. Brightness. Fun. Okay. And yeah, that's pretty much how you set it up. So,